Now that person will stay. You give him a few exercises at home, which we're going to talk about next, and put a curve in his neck, and he gets off his blood pressure medication. My God, he's going to stay with you forever. He's going to be so excited about his care. Now guess what kind of referrals you're going to get? People with blood pressure problems. They're not coming in because of back pain. They're coming in because they're scared of their heart problems.
Right.
And that's what we see in Elite. When we teach people how to do this, then your referrals come in with organ problems and health conditions and less pain.
Okay.
So let's go to
number 3.
Mistake number 3. They have to know what they're buying. And this is a huge thing. You know, when you're at a report of findings and you show them, you can show them their x-rays, but how many times have they been to 6 other chiropractors? Do you want to be the 7th or do you want to be their last? And this is the thing, you know, we've shown some spinal corrective techniques. You know, even if you're not in CBP or Pedabon, but there's a couple things you can do. One of the most important is a stress test, because when you're telling them, hey, you don't have a curve in your neck, and this represents disease according to the principle of chiropractic, and this normal one represents health, then what can we do to take them there? Now, what's the probability that another chiropractor taught them the same thing? They went, they got out of pain, now they still have that problem. In fact, now there's more degeneration. And so what's going to be different about you that's going to make them commit when they've never committed to a chiropractor before? How are you going to make them act or inspire them to act differently with you than what they've done before? How many patients have come in, my last doctor didn't take x-rays, or, you know, he only recommended 12 visits and you're recommending 30, or the fee structure is different. I mean, is that a common objection? Well, here's how you get through those objections. Let's go to the next slide. Again, spinal correction is tangible. There's a thing called a dentaroll, and it can help a doctor who knows nothing about spinal correction make predictable changes on post x-rays. So let's show you. Let's go to the next slide. This is real easy. Here's a way. Someone comes in, takes an x-ray. A dentaroll is a very, very dense foam roll with a very specific shape in it. And what you do is you have a patient lay on that dentaroll and then take an x-ray of them. So if you hit that again, there you go. Now this is a person laying on a dentaroll. That black area right behind their neck, you can see how it's very densely black. That's the dentaroll. You can kind of see the shape of it. And what it does is down by the shoulders, it's got a little wave. Now that actually helps the upper thoracic curve. The upper thoracic curve is what forms a cervical curve. Now when they lay down and they lay over that dentaroll, then look at the change in that structure. Now, yeah, I get there's people that are saying, well, that's because they're laying over the back of that. And, well, that's what my patients are going to say. Well, that's exactly right. Now, here's the benefit. Ligaments creep. You guys know that when you look, that ligaments can deform according to a sustained position. So when they lay on that dentaroll, you get plastic deformation. What's that mean? The ligaments will deform and actually hold that deformity after about 20 minutes. Now, it begins at 10 minutes. The greatest deformity of ligaments happens between 10 and 20 minutes. So if they can lay on that dentaroll for 20 minutes and they do that every day, in about 3 months, you're going to stand them up, and that's what their curve's going to look like. So when you look at this person that has a slightly reversed curve at top, but basically no curve through the neck, and then she lays, this was a staff member of a clinic I was coaching, and then she lays over that dentaroll, look at the change in that curve. Now, in 3 months, if she does that every day, that's what her curve's going to look like. So as long as you know where to place the dentaroll, and you place it in the right place, now, how do you figure that out? Hey, wherever you want to push the neck forward, basically. And you can take a couple different x-rays with different placement. What's that, Brian?
Yeah, I was just kind of laughing at that. But one of the things that's interesting with this too, I don't know if I ever really told you this, but I was using this for my stress X-rays, but I didn't have an X-ray unit where I could take it while they were laying down. So I would go put them on a table, have them lay there for 15, 20 minutes, have them stand up and take a post X-ray, and even though they weren't on it, it still made changes. I mean, there was still a change there, even though they were standing, which I know 10, 15, 20 minutes later during the day that went back towards their normal posture, but they actually were able to see that even though they were standing, within 15 minutes of doing just a stress X-ray, they were already getting changes.
And that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now, people that have degeneration where their spine's really stiff, you're not going to see those big of changes. So what they need to do is get on it for a little while until they can tolerate 20 minutes and then do a stress X-ray. But if they have decent motion, not too much degeneration, you can literally do this on day 2. So rather than say, hey, I'm not going to, you don't give them all the recommendations. Say, you know, we're just going to do this test, and let's come back tomorrow and look at the test, and then we'll make our recommendations from there. Now, when you're showing a person, see, this is what we're talking about. They know what they're buying. That's something tangible. It's not based on your opinion. They've been to other doctors that gave them their opinion, and maybe it worked temporarily, maybe it didn't. But you show them a corrected X-ray, like exactly what you said, Brian. Hey, they lay on this thing for 15 minutes. You stand up, you get a picture, and then, oh, my God, that changed. And you're like, look, you can do a lot better than this. What that tells me is if you do this program and you add the adjustments, that you're going to get that result and much greater in a short period of time, which may be 2 to 3 months. Right. Now they know what they're buying. And after coaching several doctors through spinal correction and using this, that X-ray right there, people will drop money. They'll say, okay, they have to know what they're buying. Right. And that's huge. It's not an opinion, like you said. So their goal is to have to know why they're buying your care. Now, if you say, hey, let's say you have, again, going back to the example, that woman that's so tired, she doesn't feel like a good mom, you know, her marriage isn't the same. And then you do a dentaroll X-ray. So it's not, here's the thing, even with postural corrective and spinal corrective doctors, it's not about putting a curve in their neck. It's not about going from 10 degrees to 30 degrees. It's about what does 30 degrees represent to that person. Now, that dentaroll test doesn't mean you went to 30 degrees. It means you're going to have better energy. So and you use one-liners. Every time you lay on that dentaroll, you're boosting your metabolism. Now, how often is she going to do that? Every day?
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 times a day.
That's now, when you get the people like, oh, I brought it to work, and on my break, I was laying in the break room on the dentaroll. That's when you get them doing that. You're like, what?
Yeah, I love people that have no shame. You know, they don't know shame, but that's how emotionally driven they are. Now, when you can do that, and you give them those one-liners, my God, they'll be laying out in the middle of the street stopping traffic because that's how much it means to them. Now, you got a patient with that level of commitment, guess what, gang? How many referrals are you going to get? So while she's laying in the break room and people are going, what the heck are you doing? She goes, I'm putting a curve in my neck. You should go to my chiropractor. Make sure that woman has a bunch of your business cards.
Yeah, write your number on the dentaroll.
Yeah, exactly. Put your clinic sticker on there, man, because you're going to be getting stuff going on. And what's she going to do? Now, you know this, Brian. If you give her that one line, every time you lay on this, you're boosting metabolism. So the minute she's laying in the break room on that dirty floor, then what's going to happen, people go, what are you doing? She's going to say, I'm boosting my metabolism. Right there, they're going to go, what? That's cool. How are you doing that? Man, she's teaching a spinal care class on the floor of the break room.
Right.
That's what we want. So that's totally awesome. And that's what you'll see when you follow these procedures. Hey, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So the reason we're giving this webinar, and I appreciate the opportunity always, not only as colleagues, Brian, but as friends also, to help people. When you're prepared, here's the thing. Every report of findings is an opportunity, another opportunity. My question that you have to ask, that I'm going to ask you, you have to ask yourself, is are you prepared? So you start asking more questions. Quit doing the, here's your problem, here's how long, here's how much. Make them answer those questions. Use a dentaroll stress test. start coaching. Quit talking so much, and then prove what you can do with a simple test like this, and you'll be amazed at the results you're going to get on that opportunity. Again, here's that last slide. My name is Dr. Fred DiDomenico. Anybody that has questions regarding this, there's my numbers. There's our website. Here's my email. You can call me. I'm willing to help anyone, number one, with spinal correction. Number two, help you boost your practice so that you can serve and help more people, and most importantly, fulfill your purpose in life in chiropractic.
Awesome. Well, Fred, thank you so much. I can definitely say that, like you all have been able to tell by now, I've firsthand experienced the difference with going through a true coaching program like this. Definitely has made a difference in my practice and also with billing precision. One of the things that Dr. Fred does at his seminars as well is to address other aspects of practice, whether it's marketing or compliance or billing and coding for that matter. And actually some of his clients that use our system have started to tweak the documentation system to factor in for the emotional hooks, etc., at the same time using it and staying compliant. So it's actually a pretty cool synergy on that level too. But Dr. Fred, thank you so much for all the information, and hopefully some people out there listening to this have started to transition their thought process on what it is and how they should be communicating with their patients to help them find their why for what we do.
There you go. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate the opportunity. Just one last note. We teach all these techniques, not only in the coaching, but even if people aren't clients but they want to learn how to do this, we teach boot camps where non-clients are invited to learn how to do this, even without being a client, obviously. And you'll go back to your practice after that weekend, and first of all, your whole mindset will shift, but you'll watch patients literally change the way they think right in front of you, and that's really the goal here. So